It came as a massive surprise for Oscar Piastri to jump ship from Alpine and join McLaren, as everyone thought he would become an Alpine driver once Fernando Alonso retired. However, this would be far from the case, and Alpine would announce Piastri as their main driver as Alonso left for Aston Martin. But this was contractually wrong. Piastri was able to speak to other teams as Alpine failed to sign him to the team before a certain date, and they announced him after this date. The famous tweet from Oscar would come out, as you've probably already seen, and rumours came out that Oscar had agreed to a deal to sign for McLaren to replace Daniel Ricciardo for 2023. Eventually, once the legal documents were cleared to prove Piastri was able to sign for McLaren, it was finally announced that he would be driving alongside Lando Norris for 2023 and beyond, and Daniel Ricciardo was without a drive for 2023. He would later become Red Bull's third driver. But the moral of the story for Alpine was to make sure that they check contracts well and don't just announce the driver who was not under a contract that let him sign for Alpine without his approval. Alpine lost a very talented driver and McLaren gained a very good one. In today's video, we are going to talk about how good Piastri is, will he actually be better than Daniel Ricciardo, and of course, how well will he do against Lando Norris. Let's get right into it. To start off with, we are going to talk about Oscar Piastri and how good of a driver he really is, and why McLaren has got a very good upcoming driver on their hands. Oscar was part of the Alpine Driver Academy for a couple of years, and there he was given a lot of opportunities with Alpine to get him ready for him being in a main drive. He would take part in tests on old cars behind closed doors and would work in the simulator, where it said he was very good compared to Ocon and Alonso. But Oscar has never taken part in any part of a Formula 1 race weekend, so it's hard to understand how quickly he will be in the car. But we can have a look at his junior career to get a good idea of this. 2 years in a row, Oscar will win the championship in his debut season in F2 and F3, which clearly showed how good of a driver he was, and both were in a dominant fashion. When a driver wins a championship in their rookie season, they usually go on to be pretty successful, like certain Lewis Hamilton did in his junior career. Oscar was close to getting a move to Williams whilst he would stay at Alpine third driver. Alpine would massively mess up, and a clause in Oscar's contract allowed him to speak to other teams, and one of these would be McLaren. McLaren knew how good of a driver Piastri was. They saw how good he did in the junior formulas, but Red Bull also saw how good Oscar was when he was racing in Formula 4, and Christian Horner admitted he missed out on the opportunity to sign Piastri all those years ago. So it is clear that everyone in the paddock knew how good of a driver Piastri is. Alpine wouldn't go through all the efforts given in these tests if he was just a reserve driver. They had plans for him to be in a main seat very soon, but McLaren took the opportunity up to take him. How good do you think Oscar Piastri is? Will he be able to handle the pressure of being a rookie in a midfield team like McLaren, or will he struggle in his first years and become good in the coming seasons? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Next, we are going to talk about whether Piastri will be better than his fellow Australian Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren. Daniel just did not perform in the McLaren compared to his teammate, and he may have cost the team vital positions in the constructor standings in both his years, and this is why Zak Brown decided to part ways with Daniel. It was not an easy decision to let Ricciardo leave his contract early, as it cost McLaren a reported $20 million to pull him a year early from his deal. But Zak and everyone at McLaren believed that taking a rookie on with more potential would be the better option for them and for Piastri. Daniel did get a win during his time at McLaren, but other than that, he was dominated by the younger and inexperienced driver in Lando Norris, which was a surprise for everyone. In the 2022 season, Norris would out-qualify Ricciardo 20-2, which was the biggest gap between the two drivers. But onto Piastri, and will he be able to do better than Ricciardo did in 2022? It is a very high possibility, yes. It is very hard for everyone to call right now, as we do not know how fast Piastri will be and where McLaren will be in the pack. Piastri has to have a steady year in 2023, where he can make mistakes and be inconsistent due to him being a rookie. But once 2024 comes around, he has to perform on a consistently high level. McLaren with this move is wanting Oscar to get closer to Lando so they have both drivers in the points all the time, as last year it was mainly Norris who took home the points for McLaren, and at some points they had one hand tied behind their back. Piastri with his talent and potential will be expecting him to show at the highest level and probably do better than Ricciardo, and this is what McLaren hopes, as they have taken a gamble that has a high risk, a very high reward, as they have a very exciting driver lineup for 2023 and beyond. The reason why you click this video is probably to find out how Piastri will go up against the now experienced but young Lando Norris. Lando is now going into his 5th season in Formula 1 with McLaren, so he knows what he is doing even though he's only 23. He will now be the older driver in the team for the first time, so there is more pressure on him to perform now, as he is seen as the better and more experienced driver. Lando is a talent that many top teams want, and Red Bull clearly has wanted him, as they have tried to sign Norris on a couple of occasions. So McLaren needs to also prove to him that they are serious and can provide a good car to him. Norris was so consistent last year, with him joking that he was going to change his car number to 7 due to him always finishing in P7 and the best of the rest position. McLaren fell down to P5 in the standings due to them having a poor car, but Norris pulled the most out of that car and was being able to get into the points in almost every race, it felt like. Piastri has a huge challenge against him, and beating your teammate is the first thing that you want to do as a rookie to show that you deserve to be in that spot. Piastri in 2023 will have a year to kind of get used to Formula 1, but he must be as close to Lando Norris as he can. Many people believe that Norris will beat Piastri, which he has to do, but Piastri is expected to be much closer to Lando to allow McLaren to get more points and be consistent throughout the whole of the season. It all really depends on how good the MCL 60 is and if the drivers will be able to extract good performances from the car. If it is in the same place as it was in 2023, Piastri will be expected to be in and around Lando in P8 or P9, as McLaren aims to try and beat Alpine to the best of the rest place in P4. Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari are obviously the top 3 teams for 2023, that's for certain, unless something goes horrendously wrong and Alpine and McLaren took the fight for P4. Oscar will want to beat Alpine and Alpine will want to beat Oscar, so it'll be a very close fight if we do get it, as Lando and Oscar are 2 very talented drivers with unlimited potential, and they could easily win a championship if they are given a quick enough car, and both have shown in their careers so far that they are both pretty quick drivers. It will be interesting to see where both drivers finish come the end of the season in Abu Dhabi, but who do you think will finish high in the driver standings? Will it be the more experienced Lando Norris, or will it be the talented rookie in Oscar Piastri? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure that you like the video and subscribe for more content just like this one.